Okay, so here we are. We're going to do the last of the Blacksmiths Diamonds, and we're going to do it with some 1/2 inch round for the shaft, and we're going to use 1/2 inch square for the diamond section. I would typically be using 3/4 inch or even 5/8 or 3/4 inch for this particular diamond, but I can't seem to find any in the metal rack. So we're going to do it with the 1/2 inch, and we're just going to see how it turns out. So first thing we need to do is we need to cut these to length, because I don't have enough room in the trailer to actually do them. So let's start off with that. So just like in the other video, we're going to start off with upsetting about 1 inch of the end. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with marking out the bar. So right here we're going to start and we're going to roll it once completely around from the end. So there's one. If you want to, you can mark directly underneath there. So since that was sloppy, I'll do it again. So there's one turn all the way around. And mark that. Okay, good. And then what we want to do is we want to add this thickness. So this is a 1/2 inch, so we're going to add a 1/2 inch onto the end of it. That should be roughly about the amount we need to go all the way around. So what we're doing is we're going to mark this and bend this first. So make sure you put a mark and just so you can see where it is. What I want to do is I'm going to square up this end just a little bit now. So all I'm doing is just squaring up the bar from the last time that I cut it. So now that we got our correct size, our correct shape, I am going to bend it around. Okay, a little bit more. I'm going to open that up to a 1/2 inch. Like so. So now what we're going to do is we're going to upset this rod some. And actually, before we even do that, let's cut this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to angle this back some. So I'm actually going to, as I'm coming in, I want this part to be straight. I want this part to be straight and this part to actually have the angle in it. So because this is not straight, I'm actually pushing this through in nearly a straight fashion. As you can see, as I'm cutting it, it's actually cutting straight because I'm going in at that angle of the cutting edge. Like so, so you can see how nice and straight it is right here. So now that we're at this point, you can actually just put that in. I'm going to go just a little bit more. Actually, I'll take a little more heat. So while I'm cutting this part, I actually have that 1/2-inch round bar in the fire. So I'm actually taking a preheat on that round bar right now. And again, we're not going to cut this all the way off, but almost nearly through. So we want to upset about 1 inch, 3/4 to 1 inch at the end of this bar. And the reason why is because we actually want it to have enough mass so when we step this back down, it'll actually be nicely formed. We're going to leave this upset just a little bit bigger. So it's probably coming in right around 5/8 of an inch, maybe just slightly under. Yeah, so it's like 9/16. Wire brush it and flux it. Good. We're going to close this up just a little bit because it's just a little bit too big. We want to tighten it up some on the shaft. That'll work. Snap it off. Tighten it up just a little bit. Like so. Bring it down nearly to the end. Ideally we want about 1/8 inch or really just under 1/8 inch. Close that right up. Ideally we're looking for a gap almost as big or as thick as the material. We don't want them touching. You don't want them touching. You want that gap to be there. So now take a full welding heat on it. What I'm doing is I'm rotating it as I'm taking this welding heat. And I'm watching to make sure that it's well centered. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to take another welding heat and we're going to blend in this back section here. So now what we're doing is we're not making it square, we're actually making it rectangular. You can see that it's narrower this way than it is that way. One more heat should do it. Actually, probably 2 more heats, because I really want to get that blended in well. So when you're doing these, it's very, very important to get your welding seams well blended, because this one here, you're not doing as much forge work on. In other words, you're not, forcing stuff around more, so it's not quite as going to be as fluid. So again, we want to get any of these weld seams. You can see those weld seams are still a little bit prominent, so we need to get rid of those. Again, we're looking for rectangular and not square. So I'm going to take one more welding heat on the front to help skin this up some. So right now we have 3/4 inches by like 1 1/8 inches. There we go. That looks really good. One more heat should do it. Okay, I'm going to clean up this rectangular one more time. Get rid of some of the round corners. Going to finish squaring up this end one more time with the lighter hammer. Clean that up. Again, doing this on a heading block is so much easier. But this will work just fine. Okay, there we go. That's really a very nice job. One more time. Clean it up. Okay, so there we have it. So now we should be, so we are not really, just about 5/8 of an inch thick. Literally right on the mark. And we're about 1 inch, 1/16 inches. Well, a little more than that, probably 1 inch and, about 1 inch and 1/8. Okay, so now what happens, we're going to take this out. And this is the hard part of this. Because we're not square, when we go to hit this, it's going to want to turn. It's going to want to twist every time we hit it. So there's actually 2 ways to do this. One way is to actually hold it up on edge like so and come in and hit it. That is really tough. You can do it that way, because ideally all we're looking for is to keep this section square. We're not really working on keeping it rectangular so much. But we're going to try it both ways so you guys will get to see it. Now what I just did is I cooled off the shank. And then I'm going to come in, I'm actually going to do this like so. So I'm actually going to come in. I'm going to pull that down ever so slightly in the corner. Just like that. Then I come over here and I do the same thing. And I come over here and do the same thing. So what we're looking for is to create that square pattern on the bias. You can see where it's starting to form here. So again, I'm here. I want to lower that down a little bit. Go all the way around this time. Come back to here. Come in, I'll straighten these back out. So I'm going to crease the angle a little bit now. You can see we're starting to get there. Okay, we're going to go a little bit more. Again, we're going to increase that angle just a little bit. So what we're looking for is we're looking to create that same square on the end, on the very end of the bar, and then the side should have the facets. So again, it's a little bit different looking. And these can terminate basically any way you want them to. I'll see if I can show you all the way. Okay. So now I'm actually going to switch to the peen because we're trying to go a little bit more extreme on the angle. Yeah, like so. Like so. Like so. Okay, so now that we've gotten this far, what we do now is we're actually going to square up the very end. So you can see right here, this should actually be a square with the diamonds. So that's what we're actually going to do is we're going to fix this just a little bit. We're looking for the diamond to fit from corner to corner. So it should be square in the center. Adjustment. Okay, that's pretty good. One more heat should do it. Okay. Hey, one more heat should do it. It's close enough.